In Visual Studio 2012, the debugging tools are really good, but sometimes things go wrong, and sometimes just attaching a debugger is still unhelpful because the error is on a production server or a certain page just takes too long to load. And so we have a tool that in SharePoint 2013 that it's an optional view that we can add to a site called the Developer Dashboard. And with the Developer Dashboard, you can view information about pages rendering lifecycle. You can see how long each step took. So basically, you're going to get the full metrics of the page load. Using this does depend on the usage and health data service application. That needs to be turned on first in order to enable the Developer Dashboard. And we can do that through PowerShell. So here's the PowerShell script to turn that on. And it's just it's an app level setting. And we also have the SharePoint logs. So sometimes when you have an error, you can go, if you have a correlation ID, you can go and find that error in one of the SharePoint logs, and the logs live in the 15 hive under the logs folder. Again, you can use the correlation ID to do a search inside the log file. Just using, you can open up with Notepad if you want and do a search. There's also, if you don't want the generic SharePoint error to show up, you can modify the web config to have the standard ASP.NET error page show, where it shows the full details of the error. So entries that you need for that is the safe mode element. You need to have call stack set to true, and custom errors mode needs to be set to off. So in this demo, we'll look at using the standard ASP.NET error page, and then we'll activate the developer dashboard. Okay, so it's back to our project where we have our web part. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that we have our web config changed. So I just opened the web config for this web application. And I'll make sure that call stack is true, so that's set to true. And then I'm going to look for the custom errors tag. And I already have it set here, so custom errors mode equals off. Typically that's on, but I have this set as off. Now you don't ever want to do this on your production boxes or probably even your QA boxes, unless you're going to change it right back on QA. But on your development boxes, this is good because it allows you to see your errors right away. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to our web part, and let's just throw an exception. And we'll go ahead and deploy this. And remember that web part is still on the home page. Now we're going in as the administrative user. But that doesn't matter because this web part now has an error in it. And we want to see what that error is. So this is what the result of what we just did to the web config file. So instead of just seeing the standard system error page that doesn't tell us anything, now we can see the real ASP.NET error page. And this is telling us exactly where the error happened. So it's telling us that in our web part, in the render contents method, there was a exception of type system.div exception was thrown. So that's correct. So we'll just get rid of that. Let's deploy this again. And in the meantime, let's go to our PowerShell, and I'm going to I'm going to go ahead and enable the developer dashboard. So it looks like I made a typo. So let me fix my typo. Okay. And let's continue here. Service dot developer dashboard settings. Okay, so we just turned developer dashboard on. So I'm going to refresh. I'm just going to close my browser window, open back up again. And now you can see in the right hand corner we have the developer dashboard. There's a link to launch it. So I'm going to go ahead and launch that. And what's nice is in SharePoint 2013 this opens in a new window. So it doesn't interfere with the rest of the page. Now what I can do, I can refresh this page and I can get all the statistics on it. So you can see that this took 1052.29 milliseconds to run the page. There's 2 SQL queries, so then obviously we're not doing any SQL queries, but that's what the SharePoint object model is doing. And then here is showing all the different scopes that we have here, all the different calls going on in the background. These are the store procedures that were being executed from the object model. So this is for the home page right here. I accidentally clicked the developer dashboard, but this is the home page. So the home page actually has a lot more queries because it has to build out a lot more. So there's 11 SQL queries going on there. Here's all of our scopes. So as you can see, you get quite a bit of information from the developer dashboard, and that's how you enable it.